Welcome to the Ivy League of Extraordinary Gentlemen podcast.
The Ivy League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. The League of Ivy Extraordinary Gentlemen. You're listening to what we say. We said we had to say. The Ivy League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. The League of Ivy Extraordinary Gentlemen. You're listening to what we say. We said we had to say.
Yeah, we're live.
Not a big
Because
deal.
it's time to record. Skylar's a fucking minute late.
Yeah, well, us blue collar guys here on time.
Yeah, he changes the time on us.
I'll be honest though. What was the time supposed to be?
7 o'clock your time.
Oh, so I still would have made that.
And he called me. Actually, don't tell him this, but I would have missed it. I would have been like 7:10. Because I had to stop and get that cheap gas, you know? I was down south in the boonies and I had to get that cheap gas.
Yeah.
But yeah, he called me and he was like, yeah, I had to, I gotta, Elise has yoga and I gotta eat dinner. So
Elise has yoga. Blue collar guys.
So that's why we're late.
Elise did have yoga, actually. Fun fact.
Why is it always so dark in this room, Sky?
Because
I can see your teeth. That's all I can see.
Well, that's actually nice. It shows my beautiful white teeth.
You do have nice teeth.
I didn't look at your little doc on the percentages. The mic is just hot. Mic's hot over here.
Well, the gain needs to be right. If your gain is too loud, it's gonna sound like shit.
The gain is low on mine right now.
You see where it says gain at the top?
Yeah.
It should be a quarter of the way to that.
Oh,
so 25.
It was at like 5%.
Yeah. As long as it's just not
What is the pattern? What does that do?
Oh my God, dude. Did you not read my directions?
No, I saw them.
Third one over.
Kyle, I feel like your gain is way too loud, man. Look at your audio levels on this recording compared to ours.
Is it too loud?
I think you're a little too loud, man.
Well, I'm the host, so I gotta be louder.
Yeah,
I agree.
But, yeah. So I can interrupt you, motherfuckers, when you're saying dumb shit that I don't like.
Wow, I feel like you're way louder than us. But
well, I just got really close to the mic because I had to do something. All right, let's get this fucking show on the road. We're already 4 minutes into this fucking thing. Skylar's got to leave in 56 minutes.
Yeah, actually, like 46 minutes.
All right,
I gotta get the ball.
All right, so we got like no time. We got a lot to talk about. We got a lot of nothing to talk about here. So, well, fucking A, boys, I'm excited. It's episode 1.
Episode 1.
Welcome to the Derek Carr podcast.
Derek Carr, all relative news.
We're just Derek Carr fanboy fuckboys, and we want to just talk about Derek Carr for an hour every week.
Well, Derek Carr's dead to me, so
I forgot. Schwer hates Derek Carr because you had him this past year.
Thought it was the best trade of my life. Thought I absolutely fleeced Scotty, picking up Derek Carr for like Billy Zappi or something, and then Carr proceeded to just
Wait. Let's be real. You traded Derek Carr to fuck me over.
That is correct, actually. Yes, I forgot that was the trade. Yeah.
You thought you were trading Trevor for like whatever equal player, and you ended up getting absolutely hosed by him.
But did you lose that week? Yeah, there you go. So,
I mean, that was your only win of the year. Like that, like not actual win, but that was
right.
Like
I think I lost that week, but
was your biggest like just causing me a loss is like a huge win for you.
Yeah, for sure.
Sure. Can you give the little Zappy song for us? Just a quick snippet.
Oh, cause I'm Zappy, zap along if you feel like a who. That guy had a couple good weeks, and I was feeling real zappy.
Yeah. You were a Zappy train guy.
Yeah.
So you guys aren't drinking. I'm drinking alone.
Yes. Well, I have a men's league game that we're actually playing the Middlebury soccer team. Like I think it's their actual varsity team because they're not D1, so that they can actually come out with a real team tonight. So
They're gonna come and just play boys, small boys.
I think it's the opposite. I mean, we're all, as we stated last time on the podcast, it's a bunch of 30-year-old plus dudes on this team.
Oh, I thought this was a high school team. That's right. You're playing men's league, so you're going. Oh, okay.
Middlebury College.
All right, should we bet on this? I feel like we should bet on this.
Yes, 100%. Just on context wise, we did win last session, but they were not in the league at the time, so they are new to the league this session.
Anyone we know on your squad?
Yes, Lee. I don't know if you know Lee. Stage, Rob Cole.
The lads.
Just all the boys.
Yeah, a bunch of dudes.
Just the boys. All right, we'll get to the bet at the end.
Okay,
but we should take a little note of that, Scott.
I got a note on it. I got a note in my field notepad.
Oh, nice.
I'm also not drinking because of Middlebury College.
Right, you're concussed.
What, you partied too hard?
No, the guy on Stowe he played at Middlebury College, and he basically headbutted me last night, and I am now in the blue tent, under the blue tent concussion protocol. So
I'm kind of thankful to that guy. I think we're better off on this podcast when you're concussed.
Yeah, I'm not going to be as sharp today for sure.
Your eyes look pretty sharp though. Like you look like you got it together. I don't know.
I think he looks a little cross-eyed. He's a little off. But Schwer, we made a rule on the last one. You weren't here, but you're supposed to be drinking twisted teas and eating chili dogs with your shirt off like that. That's what you're supposed to be doing. But I'll take concussed.
Yeah.
You either on this podcast, you either have to drink twisted teas while eating chili dogs, or you have to be concussed. It's like one of the two.
Yeah, well,
you choose.
Good thing I just went in the fridge not too long ago and realized I do have a twisted tea in the fridge. So,
dude, go get it.
Just a little sip won't hurt.
Right.
Yeah, it's gonna help.
All right, I'll be back.
It's gonna help. Yes. Yes. Oh well. All right. While he's gone getting the twisted tea, Sky, a couple housekeeping items.
Yeah.
So, remind us of the rules. I'm gonna recite what I think the rules we came up with in episode 0, but I just want to make sure that you are on the same page.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty simple for me. There's only one rule: just don't say stupid enough stuff to get canceled.
All right, that's what I had. Number 1,
and yeah, number 2 is pretend, Kyle, you're a high school coach. Because
I'm not pretending. I'm not going to pretend shit. I'm going to pretend I'm like the dad in the back row, getting wasted, screaming at the kids.
Yeah, you could.
Yeah, I'm like I'm like the dad that thinks he's the coach.
Yes.
Like, put my son in. My son's like fat and he can't even run and he just sits on the bench all year.
That's great. Yeah, I'm okay with that. Okay, perfect. I think we're on the same page then for just getting canceled.
So rule number 1 while you were gone, no getting canceled. All right, don't get us fucking canceled, dude. Jesus Christ.
I'm not.
Didn't have it.
I'm not.
Didn't have it.
Oh, nice. Equally as trashy.
Is that like a cucumber?
All right, and then I had little sub rule number 2. No I don't want to hear any fucking hockey talk.
I love it.
I just came from a game, and we just waxed. We just won. We're bottom of the barrel, and we just won. You don't want to hear about that?
I actually do. Who do you
top team in the league?
No,
we just played the top team in the league at their barn. 3-rip, shutout. Boys were buzzing. You don't want to hear about that?
Your team sucks. I want to hear about that. Why does your team suck? Is it the coach?
Coaches.
Yeah. Some would say it's coaching. Yeah, I'll take the L. I mean, it's coaching. We're bottom of the barrel every year, but we like to be the dogs each year going into playoffs. A little underdog mentality.
What's your record right now?
After tonight's win, we're 6-6-3. So we're 500, baby.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, well, this the first year in 6 years we've been 500 at this time. So
that's really
been a long road.
I'd say coaching staff is having successful run.
But that's hockey talk.
Yeah, fuck hockey. It's such a dumb sport. Jesus Christ.
I think I'm okay with us segmenting a minute to 2 minutes of hockey talk just to get Schwer's, get his
in the off season.
I mean, we just won a huge game.
So who's against? You haven't even said who's against. You just said it was at the barn.
Colchester.
How am I supposed
The
to know that's at the
Lakers.
barn?
All right.
Colchester, Letty.
Fuck this. We're done. We're like 3 minutes into hockey talk. We've spent all our hockey talk allotment.
3-0 though.
Super Bowl, boys. Honestly, kind of a sick time to have episode 1 podcast.
Yeah.
It's fucking Super Bowl.
Yep.
Next week.
Yep.
Who are you taking?
Chiefs.
What's the bet? Sky.
Chiefs.
Yeah.
Sky, what's our bet? How do we bet?
Well,
who do I give money to?
Just a preface, okay? Disclaimer: it's illegal to bet in Vermont, but if we were to bet, I'm taking the Chiefs. They're underdog going into the match, but I think the Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid, they get their second title together. They get into rare air of essentially, in my opinion, they're probably just behind Belichick and Brady. Second greatest combo if they win this one.
Would you hear that on fucking The Herd 10 minutes ago?
No, if you think about how many 2-time winners there have been together from a coaching and a quarterback perspective, there's not a lot. And they probably, honestly, if they can win this one, they have a lot more, and I say a lot more, if they get one more after this, then they're golden. I also just I don't know why, I just don't really like the Eagles. And I just
Dude, fuck the Eagles.
Yeah. I just don't like
I mean, are we just going to gloss over the Pro Bowl flag football game?
Oh my.
35-33 NFC. Are we just skipping right over that, or?
Do you see Myles Garrett dislocate his toe in the game?
I did see that.
A key injury from a
flag
football game.
What's more dangerous for these guys, flag football or just like playing regular football?
1,000%
It's like
football. I mean, that's just like taking so many variables that they haven't experienced and just like letting the boys play. Not a good idea.
You're saying flag football is more dangerous or regular football?
Flag football.
Yeah, dude. You see like Jalen Ramsey like fucking lower his head into Tyreek Hill?
Yeah, because they're elite athletes and now
they're football players. Yeah. They're not fucking flag football players.
Yeah. It's like the same thing with us. Like when we play football, somebody's gonna get hurt. You gotta somebody's gonna hurt something. It's for us, it's hamstring. Hamstring is probably the top one.
Someone's just gonna get hurt because we're old.
I mean, sure, you pulled a groin last year. Tier 3.
I mean, yeah, I play injured every year. I still haven't figured out that I'm supposed to stretch before running, but
I mean,
I will say though that I give NFL credit. The best catch, jumping trampoline into the mattress, there's no chance anyone was going to get hurt on that dumb event that they put together.
Yeah, dude, I was watching that and I was like, what the fuck are they doing? This is so dumb.
I'm going to take the other side. I thought it was fucking stupid. I thought the Pro Bowl was dumb.
That's what we're saying.
Do we agree?
Okay, but you guys watched it? I didn't even tune into it. I was watching.
Oh, so funny thing. I was watching it and I was sitting and I had to go to men's league hockey. Sorry, I brought it up. But we were sitting there watching it. We instead left, we were like, we can't watch any more of this. We left and we drove all the way to Stowe and we sat in the locker room for an hour and a half and just didn't talk to each other while we got on gear because we couldn't stomach watching any more of that event. Stephon Diggs jumped up and did a little twirl and he couldn't even catch a ball. We were like, what are we watching here?
I actually respect the shit out of that you guys went to a locker room and didn't talk to each other or looked at each other, just looked at your phone and scrolled Instagram for an hour and a half.
That's what we did.
All right, Schwer, who do you got in the Super Bowl?
I mean, I hate to side with Sky, but I mean, it's just, to me, it's like, this is kind of a pivotal moment for Patrick Mahomes because, he's got the one Super Bowl. And I've learned from Brady and what Patrick Mahomes, he's kind of in the shadows of Brady now, and he could come out of the shadows. And what I have learned from Brady all these years is you don't bet against guys like that. And so I can't bet, hurt or not, can't bet against Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. So I'd love to see the Eagles win because they're kind of like a pretty greasy franchise, and I kind of love that. But I can't bet against Patrick Mahomes.
What about you?
Well, I was going to say Chiefs, but you guys both said, so I got to say fucking Eagles.
Well, I don't think you do, man. You just said at the top you hate the Eagles. We can
Imagine how
we can-
sweet it'll be
let's
if
It goes
the-
Giants,
if the-
Eagles. I fucking
let's
hate both.
be
Those
Chief.
teams.
We're going to be Chiefs. This podcast is going to be on the Chiefs' ride for the Super Bowl.
They beat the Pats. Both those teams, Giants, Eagles beat the Patriots with bullshit.
I agree. Nick Foles beat us.
Think about how smart we're gonna look when this plays after the Super Bowl and the Chiefs win, and we're gonna be like, "Well, yeah, we all said so."
Yeah.
Everyone else was like Eagles, and we're like,
If
no,
the
Chiefs.
Eagles do
The
win, though,
birds.
we're gonna
The
be
birds.
in. We might get canceled at that point.
Kind of want the Eagles to win because I just love seeing the residents of Philly just tear their own city apart.
I do like that as well.
It is kind of fun to like see all the carnage.
That's gonna happen, win or lose.
That's true.
Think about that. So no matter what, Philadelphia is getting brought down.
True. It's a lose-lose for Philly.
It's either tears of joy or, tears of sorrow. Really.
All right, enough about this bullshit. I'm over it. So let's get to the league, boys. That's what this podcast is about, after all, right?
Oh yeah.
Hey.
So I don't know. I'm kind of interested to hear your takes. So like we talked about it a little bit privately, but for the listener, and that's singular listener, our boy, what did I say his name was, guy? Alfonso in Iowa.
It was something not okay.
Oh, yo, I looked at the Spotify stats. We already have I think we have 24 listens.
That is bizarre.
It's so weird.
How do we get into the algorithm?
We're getting more middle America. That's what we need to target.
Yeah,
We need to get into the algorithm. We need to say keywords and we need to keep saying hot dogs and chili dogs.
Hot dog.
Yeah.
Hot dog. I just scream it in the middle. Hot dog.
Dog.
That's what the algorithm's looking for, I think.
You're just trying to get yourself hungry, schwer. You're just getting ready for dinner.
No, I just have so much sushi.
Danielle's boiling up like a six-pack for sure. Just a little hot dog water on the side.
Little scissor.
I actually don't eat that many hot dogs, but yeah.
All right, so why do you what do you guys want to do this podcast? Like, other than me just strong arming you, like, what do you think we have to share with the world?
I mean, I have one segment that I wrote down that I was gonna talk to, but I feel like we could save it towards the end.
This is more aspirational, schwer. Like what about our league do you think is worthy of a fucking us three morons talking on a podcast for an hour?
Yeah, I can start out with this one. So from a macro standpoint, we think about 2008, which you can see on our logo there, which is beautifully done by our co-producer, Eric Schwer. 2000.
Whoa, that is not his title. Hold on. He's chili dog guy. We already...
So if you think about 2008, for us, we were sophomores, juniors in high school. You were a year older than us, Kyle. You hadn't been introduced to the league at the time yet. But if you think about that time period, we were actually using Yahoo because ESPN actually didn't have fantasy football at the time. So we were predated when fantasy football really had jumped off. It was like old dudes doing it in their like notebooks. So for us, I feel like it's a really cool way to showcase not only the start of the league and how we started at a young age, young being relative, we were 15, 16 years old, but we have still a core nucleus of the same people, and we've been able to have a draft every year with that same nucleus while bringing on people year after year, which we'll obviously get into the details of how those people have now joined the league.
So like you're saying, like for our generation, we may be the most tenured fantasy footballers of all time.
We are in not only the top 1% of it, but if you think about the commitment and the time and the energy we spent on fantasy football as a league, I guarantee we're in the top 5. If you just think about time spent from an investment point of, we fly to a destination every year. Okay. We text about it all day long. We had, back in the day, we had a Facebook group. Remember that? We were like, this is the only way to communicate. We could only.
I'm well aware. I've watched every video.
And then I deleted my Facebook. That went away. And then now we just communicate at any point of time. That's how we communicate now, being 31, 30, 32, almost for you, big dog. David just hit 32. Shout out to David, our co-producer and music extraordinaire.
We need to get you fact checked on that fucking middle-aged bullshit on the last one. That stuff, that you saying that fucking like ate me alive.
Yeah, you didn't sleep well, huh?
I did not. I haven't slept in days because of that. I'm middle aged. I'm not middle aged. That would mean people are dying at 60. I don't know. 30 times 2 is 60.
That's it. Yeah, middle age, right there.
It's
I
not
mean,
middle
that's
age.
what I'm shooting
People
for.
are dying at 80, 85, 90.
Yeah. Yes. You know, you're.
I was just down in Miami with my granddad. He's 90. Guy's fucking swinging a golf club.
That looks pretty.
He's going out partying. He's going out partying every night.
Yeah, we got to make sure Chuck gets down there.
Hey, so I will say, I mean, going back to, you know, how this league was established, it is pretty remarkable to think, you know, we started in 2008. I will say, I think, you know, much simpler times. You know, obviously Kyle wasn't in the league, huge breath of fresh air at that point, and you know, checking the stats on the BlackBerry, and you know, it's just a much simpler time, and you know, we've come a long way, but you know, I definitely think we were one of the few back in the day to bring together a group of 12 guys. And you know, fast forward to today, I think we're a very progressive league. I mean, we haven't talked about the 2 quarterback, you know, 12-team league, 2 quarterback. I mean, I'm not a mathematician, but you know, you do the numbers there with 2 quarterbacks and 1 backup for your bye week. I mean, there's not enough quarterbacks in the league. I don't know if our listeners can do that math that quick, but that's
we
just
need Dave to
32
fact
teams
check
in the.
that one.
So, I mean, that in itself is an absolute adventure every year. You know, everyone's scrambling on the waiver wire. So,
There's a lot of history here, isn't there, boys?
Yeah,
a lot of history.
And there's a lot of camaraderie. I would say if you add history, all the history plus all the camaraderie, this is the greatest league that's ever existed. Like, do you know anyone else that's in a better league?
No.
Have you, when you talk to people about our league, do they say, you guys are crazy? That's insane that you do all that.
Yeah.
Because
I mean, I look down on other leagues, to be honest.
Yeah, I do too.
You guys are in other leagues, right? We have a rule, listener, that we're not allowed to talk about other leagues, but we're all in other leagues with like work or, you know, standard fantasy bullshit.
Yeah, it's dumb.
The only other league I'm in is with a really good group of friends, and it's nothing compared to this league. Like,
yeah,
the amount of shit talk.
I'm in
the
that
amount
league
of
too.
What's that?
I'm in that league. I think you forgot.
Oh yeah, you are. Yeah, you are.
I hate that.
Oh,
I this I hope gets there. I hate that league, and I'm outwardly spoken. I hate that league.
It's a money league, and that's what most fantasy leagues are. Is it's just like, hey, I'm going to throw some money in. It's just a way for me to maybe earn an extra buck, have something to do on Sundays while I'm sitting on the couch and my wife's yelling at me. Like, that's what most fantasy leagues are. But our league is something different, and I think the world needs to know.
I love that. So Kyle, I was just writing down the original members who are still in the league. I actually didn't realize how many we were until I wrote them down. Do you guys know how many original members are in the league?
It's actually one of the questions I had written down was who were the original members and who still exist.
Yeah. So a fun fact is, out of these original members, one was an original member and then dropped and then rejoined. So
I actually discovered that by looking back in the old videos.
Yeah.
Scotty, right?
Scotty was an original member because at the time in 9th grade, he was my roommate at Stratton.
Right.
And he hated
So why did he get kicked out?
He didn't like it. I don't know if he likes football right now.
He doesn't.
I don't think he likes fantasy football.
I don't think he likes us that much.
Yeah, I don't.
I think
But he always shows up.
Everyone.
I think he just.
But he always shows up.
I think he just likes Chuck, or maybe somebody has some black. Like Gideon might have something on him.
Dude, he loves Gideon.
Loves
him and Gideon have like a little love.
Ever since
it's too bad he'll never. It's too bad he'll never listen to this.
Meat steaks.
He's not ever gonna listen.
No.
We're saying nice shit about him.
The meat steaks was the turning point in everything. There's been moments of the league where have been massive turning points, and meat steaks was very high up there.
No, it's milk steaks.
Milk steaks. My apologies.
Yeah, I was with Gideon while at Willie's blackout wasted ordering milk steaks at that stand in Austin, and I had heard the joke hundreds of thousands of times, so I thought nothing of it because Gideon just says the same shit over and over again. But Scotty died. I've never seen anyone laugh harder. He couldn't stop.
It was so good.
And it's just that they were immediately bonded forever.
Yeah, because all the other guys at the time were, because I was at the house. Sure, I think you were getting ready for a flight, so you were awake. If I don't recall, yeah, that's right. Yeah, so it was 3-4 a.m. We were out back in the back of the Austin house, and you guys came back with the milk steaks, and there was about 5 or 6 of us back there all awake, and Shore had his like luggage ready because he was just like, waiting to go to the airport at 4:30 a.m., which is insane.
You're just getting back from the bars.
But you guys come in an hour later as we're talking milk steaks. Shore leaves. But hold on, back to the original members before I lose track of this.
Yeah.
So there's 7. There's 7 original members, which is crazy.
Wow.
So back to 2008, we still have 7 of the same dudes, which is like hard to do. I feel like in just general in life to like keep friendships that long.
But also, I joined 2 years after the league, or 2010, I think was my first year. So like,
yeah,
basically, like there's a bunch of people that were added 1 or 2 years later, maybe, that are also still there.
Actually, just you.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because if you look at this, we got myself, Dave, Shore, Cobb, Caldwell, Magnus, Scotty. You joined. And then we started going to tryout mode probably 3 or 4 years later, because the next one was probably Chuck. Probably.
Well,
Chuck.
we had like the one that's still because we had Cam, we had Danny Sandali, we had all these people that only lasted like 1 or 2 years, and then we're like, you got to get the fuck out.
Who's the guy that served in the military and had?
Cam Woodworth, dude.
Oh yeah, and Saxton. Don't forget Saxton.
Oh, Ben Saxton, dude. There were so many guys that were just like there for like a season. Oh, Luke Peters.
What about Hunter?
Peter. Oh, Luke Peters. Yeah. Oh, Hunter was original. Hunter was original.
Dude, Hunter. I don't even know if we're allowed to. Are we allowed to talk about that guy?
I don't think so.
Like that's how we get canceled.
I think
that's
an episode for something else. That's a future episode. We'll just have an episode.
That could be an episode in and of itself right there.
Yeah. No, I think the thing is with those like people that we brought on and they went through for listeners, they went through a full tryout period where we'd have them submit a video. They'd have to do fun stuff to get into the league. At the same time, as commissioner, and I guess that's another telling point, I am the commissioner of the league. I had to make sure that we kept that standard super high, just like with any good coach, any good leader. Keeping the standard high was the number one thing. So if we actually created a full docket and rules and regulations, but one of the big rule was if you missed a league event and then you missed another league event, so 2 league events in 1 year, that could be the draft, that could be a summit, that could be other things, then you got put up for basically ejection out of the league. You were deleted from the league. So this happened for about 5 or 6 years. We had an on and off process where we ejected 6 or 7 or 8 people. One is on the trophy, which we kicked out of the league, which I'm thankful for. Sorry.
You know what would be along those lines? You know, it would be totally unbelievable to just set our league apart from all other leagues, even though we're already doing that, is if we created a delegation league.
Oh,
I've thought about
so
it.
Like we could delegate.
I thought about
delegate to friends of the league. That would be unbelievable.
It would. So you could. If you get last place, you get delegated.
Yeah. So
holy shit.
So Chuck wouldn't be in the league next year.
Wow, Charlie, you hear that, boy?
Also,
almost would have been me.
Also, shout out to Chuck, huh? Chucky Smitten.
That was my note that I was going to take.
Dude,
for
what are these Instagram posts? I didn't even know he had Instagram. And then like last couple of days, it's just like him getting kissed on the cheek, like
dating a model,
picture after picture.
When was the last time you saw the guy smile, huh? Look at him. He's happy.
He doesn't.
Smiling's lame.
I thought he had like a reconstructive surgery to remove his smile all these years. Honestly, I like didn't know he could.
It's true.
I mean, I've been having random people come up to me and say, "Hey, have you seen these Instagram posts of Charlie and his new girlfriend?"
Well, you know,
people have been coming up to me.
I was giggling at those because, first of all, let's talk about this real quick. Charlie texts me and he's like, or he texts us and he's like, "Hey, I'm going to Miami." And I was like, "Hey, I'm going to Miami too." And he's like, "Oh, cool, when?" And then it didn't work out. And he was going the week before me. And then he texts me like a week later and he's like, "Hey, I'm going to be a Whistler," which for our listener is a couple hours away from my house. Whistler, British Columbia. And he said, come meet me. And I was like, "I'm going to be in Miami." He like we're just chasing the boy around.
He zigs and you zag, you know?
Yeah.
Well, the other thing that was making me giggle
he's
about
trying to stay as far away from you as possible.
I think is what it is. I think he hates my guts, which fair enough. But you know, we have a dark place in each other's hearts because of Death Ball, which we could talk about on this cast. Honestly, we could talk about Death Ball.
Yeah. That's
Sometimes I just watch that video when I'm feeling down.
For our listener, Charlie curb stomped me when we were about 22 years old.
Yeah, that's
So
great.
it
The game was deemed death ball, and it was pretty much a spike ball, mini net, or no, not a
it's
spike
it
ball.
was like a
It
door
was
basketball hoop.
Yeah.
slam ball net, whatever it
Yeah.
was.
Yeah.
And just he proceeded to just rake you.
No,
Just
there's
absolutely
Yeah,
sweep
11
you
to
up.
no
nothing.
rules. There are no rules.
There's no
No
rules.
rules.
Like you
In
can.
a short hallway where there's just walls
Narrow
and
hallway too.
I had him on the floor at one point in a headlock because he wouldn't stop he wouldn't stop beating me up.
well, then he got up and dunked on you.
Yeah, then he just got out of it somehow because he's very strong.
It's very strong.
Pretty sure you guys both sustained like probably pretty major injuries during
Definitely.
that game.
I was terribly injured from that. But the funniest part about let's get off Chuck. There's too much time on Chuck.
Yeah,
but
way
the
too
funniest
much.
part about his ski trip to Whistler was there was not one post of skiing.
No.
I didn't see no skiing, no snow
I don't think he
sports.
did.
There was just drinking. Like they were just partying in the village.
Did
the
you
whole time.
see the bazooka champagne?
Yeah, that was actually
Oh,
kind of sick.
man.
I kind of
Man,
want those.
what
for the
a
next
life, Chuck! What a life.
Yeah,
That's just such New York type moves.
I hope
there,
it was
you know?
expensive champagne just to really throw some.
Dude, I hope Charlie paid for all of it.
Oh yeah.
I hope that girl just got like a free trip to Whistler. That'd be sick.
Yeah, I agree.
All right. Moving on.
Too much of Chuck. Yeah, too much.
So, Skylar, tell us where we got this name. So we have this pretty unique name, which I don't know if a lot of leagues have this, which is called the Ivy League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, the name of this podcast, also the name of our league. Where did you get this? How did you come up with it? What are the origins of where it comes from? And now, a word from our sponsors.
Well, hey, doing party people. This is Tony Spumoni, and I just opened the hottest new club in town. It's called Club Sandwich, and let me tell you a little bit of something about this Club Sandwich. It's gonna be the best party you ever went to. I know how hungry you people get when you're out at the club. You're out there dancing, and I just solved that problem for you. We're selling hot deli sandwiches 24/7, day and night. And we got theme nights. We got a big theme night coming up on Thursday. I know all you guys and girls, you love that house music, that ba 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 music. How about this? Steve Aoli. Ever heard of him? He's coming Thursday night. Tickets at the door, $20. You get a free sandwich, and it's an aioli sandwich. How about this? Steve Aioli night at Club Sandwich. I'll see you there. Thursday night, $20 at the door. You're gonna meet me. I forgot the address. I'll send it to you. Just follow me on Instagram, Tony Simone at clubsandwich.com.
Oh my God. All right.
We get to that point in the salsa jar, you're about 62, 63% of the way into the jar, and you're trying to dip that chip right into that jar. And you can barely get it out of the fucking jar without covering your hand in salsa. Does that
All
ever
the time.
happen to you?
All the time. I'm covered in salsa.
I bet you are covered in salsa. Well, let me just tell you this. I got a cool little company I just started called Push Pop Technologies, where you're going to utilize push pop technology in the bottom of a salsa jar. We're going to push it all the way to the top so you can enjoy that jar salsa with a clean chip dip every single fucking time. How does that sound to you?
That sounds pretty good. I want that. I want it.
You do want it, don't you? And hey, let me just tell you, it doesn't stop there. There's more. And I know you didn't even ask for it, but you could probably put this push pop technology in the bottom of a peanut butter jar, jelly jar, any kind of jar. You can put it in the bottom of a candle. You ever struggle with a candle? You gotta flip the candle upside down. You gotta light the match. You burn your hand. You're not even using all the candle wax. I mean, come on.
yeah. Yeah. I want it. I want it. Give it to me.
All right. Well, you can have it, because I'm Gideon from Push Pop Technologies, and we just solved that crisis. So you can buy one of these jars at any supermarket, any store. We're probably selling them at $20 a jar, but Yeah.
We'll get you back to the show in just a second, but first, I just wanted to give a quick disclaimer. Those ads you just listened to are not real. They are not real people. They are not real companies. They're not real products, and they should never, ever, ever be real companies that sell real products. That guy who was just recording those ads, I don't know who he was. I don't know what he was talking about. But if it sounded like one of your companies that we were advertising for and you're mad about it, go ahead and hit him up. He's the one to blame, not me. So you can reach out to him. You can find him on LinkedIn. So yeah, now back to the show.
Yeah, so we got to give a lot of credit to John Austin Caldwell. As first off, he won our league this year, so congrats to him. It's his first time ever winning the league. So
He beat me. I was in the shit.
He did beat Kyle. So as it dates back,
I thought they were co-champs.
All right, that's a different episode.
As it dates back to 2008, we were at Stratton, and being at Stratton, it's a ski prep school, and the Ivy League, specifically Dartmouth for reference, is a big feeder into U.S. ski team, good skiers, and also a lot of people from Stratton went to Dartmouth, including Austin's sister, dad, granddad, great grandfather, etc. So I would say dating back, it was more so just like a pun on like so many people went to Dartmouth specifically outside of that. It's why our colors are green for reference. And then the joke became that was the only Ivy League that was allowed into basically our league. But the flip side of that is that actually the three of us are all state school boys. So none of us are Ivy Leaguers, but we're in the Ivy League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. And then I think finally, kind of the marquee, if I think about like when my memory serves me back, we had a draft that was in Stratton, which was really fun. It was great. It was kind of like our first like big draft. I think we were, probably underage, having some beverages.
Whoa. We didn't partake in any underage drinking.
You can bleep that out later. Well, you weren't in the league either, so you were fine, Kyle.
I didn't take that one.
But then when we went to Dartmouth for the first time, remember that one? That was basically the real beginning of when the league bonded tightly and everyone got to meet each other. The people who hadn't met each other before, because that was like our first or second year in college for a lot of the people. And being in Dartmouth, having one of our first bigger drafts live in Dartmouth, I think that really solidified both the name and the excitement around having it be the Ivy League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. The fun fact is that we actually have 3 members that went to Dartmouth, and only one of them has ever won a title this past year.
Yeah, they're the worst fucking fantasy football players.
Yeah, they're bad.
Yeah, they're terrible.
They're terrible. How many ships you got, Sky?
I got 3. I got the most in the league.
Schwer, how many you got?
I got 1.
I got 1. We're all champions.
Yep,
you were almost 1.5 though.
And I should have beat Caldwell this year. It's fucking bullshit.
That was wild.
Talk about an asterisk. I bet that better pass the asterisk.
I mean, the guy died and then got resuscitated. If that guy didn't die, you might have won.
Yeah. Who knows? Crazy. No one will know. No one will ever fucking know.
No one will know.
All right, so yeah, I remember going to that Dartmouth draft. I remember Hunter being there. I remember the great bike race. Hunter, who for our listener, claimed to be. It was like an ongoing joke. He claimed to be this professional bike racer, and the joke was like that he raced Lance Armstrong, whatever. But he got like Scotty got on like a fucking Huffy mountain bike with training wheels on it, and like beat him in a bike race. It was the funniest thing any of us had ever seen. But it just dug the Hunter hole even deeper. But one of my favorite historical moments.
Hold on. Can I just say one more thing from that draft? My favorite part was when Hunter was talking about how he was like racing the Tour de France or racing in some tour. And he proceeded to buy probably, again, at this time, we were like freshmen, sophomores in high school or in college. And he proceeded to buy like $300, $400 of pizza for everyone. And he's like, oh, I got it. It's on me. I'm a professional bike racer. And then the next morning after he was more sober, he's like, "So you boys gonna pay me back for that?" And no one did.
My favorite part from that draft was the next morning. I woke up on the floor of Harriet,
Yeah.
that fraternity, and I went into the fridge, and there was like 3 full cases of Keystone. It was like 6 in the morning, and I got up and walked over to the fridge and opened it, took out one of these cases, and just left the house. And I was just walking across Dartmouth's campus at 6 in the morning on a Sunday with a 30 rack of Keystone, like carried it like a baby in my arms. And whatever, like went on with my life. But then like a few days later, my stepmom called me and she was like, were you in Hanover this weekend? Like, where were you? And I was like, yeah, I was hanging out in Hanover, just hanging out with some buddies, doing nothing too bad. She was like, well, Bridget, who's my stepsister and her daughter, she was like, Bridget saw you walking across the green with a 30 rack of beer in your hand. They were driving to church. Like, what, what were you doing? And I was like, oh, I don't know if that was me. I don't think it doesn't really sound like me.
Doesn't sound like you at all.
But just moving along here. So I think so there was that kind of like tumultuous time in the league's history where I would say it was like 2015, 2014 maybe, where we went through like 5 or 6 people. Like there's 3 or 4 year stretch of there. And I think we started doing this like nomination video thing. You guys remember these obviously, and I was looking through the Facebook group and I was like watching some of them, and most of them were just like dudes drinking as much as they humanly could in like a short period of time. Like Chuck, there's a classic video of him, like he's got like 3 beers and he's like spraying them into his face. Gideon was like, when for his nomination video, was like drinking beer out of like a fucking measuring cup, and and Jack was asking him questions. And then Cam was like standing in his bathtub and he was like pouring Gatorade all over himself. Like some great videos, but I think the best one that was ever made was by Jeff. Do you guys remember this?
No.
So it was about his car, right?
Yeah. Okay. So
wait, is better than Saxon making a rap video in the hot tub?
I don't know if I remember that. Oh, whoa, with like Jesse and all those. Like that was actually sick. We should find that video. Someone's gonna pull up that video. I didn't remember about that one, but Jeff's was so good. So if you guys remember, this was 7 years ago. So there was this YouTube sensation. I don't even know his name, but he started making these videos that was basically like get rich quick. Like go to my website, pay me a few bucks and I'll teach you how to make $1 million. And he made this video, and I was looking at the video and it has 71 million views. And it kind of became like a joke. So here, I'm just gonna play the video real quick. I'm gonna play like the first minute of it.
Here in my garage, just bought this new Lamborghini here. It's fun to drive up here in the Hollywood Hills. But you know what I like a lot more than materialistic things? Knowledge. In fact, I'm a lot more proud of these 7 new bookshelves that I had to get installed to hold 2,000 new books that I bought. It's like the billionaire Warren Buffett says, the more you learn, the more you earn. Now, maybe you've seen my TEDx talk where I talk about how I read a book a day. I read a book a day not to show off. It's, again, about the knowledge. In fact, the real reason I keep this Lamborghini here is that it's a reminder that dreams are still possible, because it wasn't that long ago that I was in a little town.
All right. So it goes on and on.
What's that guy's name?
Dude. Oh, Tai Lopez.
Tai Lopez. Yeah.
So it goes on, and he's like, go to my website, you just follow these easy steps. Like, don't worry, you'll become a millionaire like me. And so Jeff, I think this was 7 years, 2015, I think is when Jeff came into the league. And so he has to make one of these nomination videos. So this is the video.
Here outside my garage, still paying off this 2012 Nissan Altima. Standard. Fun to drive out here in the Rhode Island suburbs. Now, what I'm more proud of than materialistic things, like this sweet-ass Nissan, is my fantasy football knowledge. The great John Madden once said, every time you get in the end zone, you get 6 points. Now, I don't show you the cool things that I have to brag.
He points at the Nissan.
I show you so that you know anything is possible. I was lucky in my life to run into mentors. Mentors like Peyton Manning, Drew Brees, running backs like Adrian Peterson, pre-child abuse wide receivers like Demaryius Thomas and Des Bryant, who showed me that if you believe in yourself, fantasy greatness can happen to you. And now I'm here wanting to get into your league to share with you my greatness, because I am great and you can be too. Let me share with you my secrets, the things that I've been lucky enough to learn. Let me in your league. Let me show you. Let me give you.
Jesus.
So good.
That's
So
awesome.
yeah, it was. I mean, that's just comedic genius right there. I was like dying laughing looking at those.
All right. One quick hit after that. Dez or Demaryius Thomas at their peak?
Demaryius.
I think
100%.
I gotta go with the X. I think I gotta go with Dez.
Yeah. I'd probably be in the Dez camp. That guy was a freak.
All right, so I think like this was kind of a turning point, right? Like 2015, 2016, the league was like kind of firing up. We were starting to get a group of guys together that were pretty good, that we liked, that were like showing up and doing things and like taking part. I think 2017 is like kind of when the league became what it is, right? Because 2017 is when we went to Sun Valley, right?
Yeah. So 2017 was when. Right now, currently, we have 11 members that are still in the league from 2017. So Jeff and Gideon were kind of those last two, and Chuck. I call them basically those three.
Well, Matt.
Well, no, then Matt joined after Sun Valley because he was part of the tryout. So for the listener out there, we brought 3 of our friends to Austin, Texas. And basically, as commissioner, I told them, hey, we got 1 spot open. We got 3 of you here. We're going to do events all for the next 3 days. And the winner gets in the league. The other 2 can go fuck off and go home. And so that person who won, which was Matt, is still one of the league members to this day, 5 years later.
Yeah, and he's not allowed on the podcast because he'll get us canceled in about 2 seconds.
Yeah, he's not allowed at all.
Yeah, good shit. So, all right, so we started doing this thing where we went to Sun Valley, and I feel like I don't know if I remember this correctly, Sky, but I remember you texting me and being like, I went to Sun Valley early and I wasn't working. I had like a few days off, and you were like, come up with a bunch of like events for us to do. And so I started trying to like think of things like competitions that we could do that'd be funny, but would also like we could earn points, and that would like whoever got the most points at the end of the weekend would end up like that would be our draft order. You get to pick your draft pick. And so the first event, which is still like I call it the classic, which is the 40-yard beer chug.
Yeah.
That was like the event that we came up with, which is like is kind of like the marquee besides Pong.
Yeah.
Is like the marquee event. So I remember the first 40-yard beer chug.
Yeah.
We did it in a field in Sun Valley, Idaho. And Jeff had a broken leg because he had like broke his leg skiing that year, and Gideon like ripped his hamstring in half. So for the listener,
off the bone.
basically, what's that?
Tore that hamstring right off the bone during
just tore his hamstring. Like he still complains about it.
I could hear the pop from that play.
It's nasty. So just imagine like a bunch of 24-year-old dudes, and we're lining up in a field at like an elementary school.
Yeah.
And basically what you have to do is we fill 2 beer cups. Is it 1 beer or is it 2 beers?
It's 1 beer, 2 12-ounce cups.
So 1 beer, 2 12-ounce cups. You have to drink both the cups. So someone says go, you drink both the cups, and then you run 40 yards as fast as you possibly can.
Yep. It's also clear cups so that we can see that it's finished.
That's right. And if you spill, you go again. And so it's kind of funny. Like so at this point, we've got 6-7 years of data on this 40-yard beer chug. And I'm pretty sure, I didn't look that close to data, to be honest. But Sky, I'm pretty sure you've never been beat.
No, I've never been beaten. No, I'm not even really close, to be honest. Here,
it's not that close. No. Like Charlie and Prescott get relatively close to you, but it's never. You kind of just. It's always just kind of a win for you.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to the day. I think it might be this year.
It
like post dad.
This would be the year if there's a year, because my training might dip, my beer consumption might dip. But last year was probably my best year, honestly, if I think about just the gap, the delta between myself and I think Scotty. I think Scotty's usually second. That's what I look out for when I'm competing. I typically think about my own performance, but when I'm out there, I'm like, all right, Scotty has some juice to him,
So this year, Skylar, you ran a 7-second 0.3.
Yeah, that's fast.
That is okay. So I looked this up. What do you think is the slowest NFL 40 time ever?
It's probably around that, like 7.5.
Schwer?
880 something.
No, it's not. It's not slower than, or it's not slower than Sky, but it is close. It's like 6.2 or something, which is fucking insane. And albeit, like that is like a fucking lineman, but Sky's drinking a full beer and then running 40 yards and running it in 7 seconds.
That is crazy.
We're athletes.
That is crazy.
We're fucking athletes.
Man,
So,
to think though, if you're just a little bit faster, could have said we're faster than.
That could be a new goal. Like maybe you get an extra point this year if you run a faster 40 than the slowest NFL 40 time.
Hey, we won't be at altitude next year. We'll be at Miami Beach.
Miami.
Oh, probably in the sand though.
Oh, that's true. We will do it in sand, actually. Yeah, for sure. That could be a new variable. Maybe Gideon wins. Maybe he's lighter on his feet. Maybe he has a new hamstring, has a new knee.
Yeah,
Gideon just got ACL surgery.
I know. So he's gonna have a new knee. He's gonna be light on the sand. I could see that. I could see a dark horse there.
I mean, Gids did it on one leg last year.
Yeah, he beat people.
That's so funny. Him and Matt both had torn ACLs. They're chugging beers and hopping on 1 foot for 40 yards.
It's great.
So good. So yeah, for the listener, basically we get together every year for the draft, and it's this full weekend of pure competition. Everybody's drinking a lot. It's mostly drinking events. But I wanted to bring up the spring challenges, because the last few years we've been doing these spring challenges, and I think that they're fucking hilarious. So for 2020, obviously during COVID, we weren't able to go to a draft location like we were in most years. So what we did was we did this like 12 days of competitions, and everybody in the league had to come up with a competition. And I was looking through the competitions, and they're fucking hilarious. Like they all mirror our personalities perfectly. So Skylar's competition was quick 6. Yeah. You had to drink as many fucking beers as you could. It's 4 12-ounce beers in 6 cups.
Yeah. Basically, like for me, it's drinking Epicac and puking immediately.
Yeah, most people puked, I think. And then mine's the classic. So I had the 40-yard dash. Yeah. Dave had the NBA player pick, which is classic Dave. Like, just let me rest and recover and watch a basketball game, and so good. And I'll just pick a team.
It's also lazy. Let's just say that too.
Yeah, lazy. And then Charlie had flip cup, which is classic. No creativity, just like, oh, what did I do in college? Cobb, most perfect. Rock, paper, scissors.
Crazy.
And then Caldwell's is the most creative and also the most Caldwell. So Caldwell's is the one you drink 1 beer. It was a weekend long event. 1 beer, you get 1 point. 1 mile, you get 1 point. 1 mile running, and then 4 miles biking, you get 1 point. So each day of the weekend, we got points for doing all these things. Gids' description is so good. So Gids' event was called the hamstring explosion. And it was a 3-2-1 pong set, and you had to drink 4 beers and 6 cups, 1 ball. You had to throw every ball in the cup, and you were timed, and the fastest time got most points. So it says, throw ball in cup, flip cup, knee, keep going, video submit.
That's good.
And then Schwer's classic, I'm not even allowed to say this, but NHL playoff game 1 picks, just lazy. Yeah. And not even football. Yeah. Just hockey, stupid ass hockey. And then I can't say Matt Flynn. Yeah. We all know.
Yeah.
I can't say Matt Flynn.
Are you going to preface what the point of all these challenges was? I don't think the one listener out there.
Yeah. Tell us.
Why did we do all these?
We did, challenges? So we did all these to actually get a point scale similar to when we draft, and we'll go through that on another episode. But we did these spring challenges, which we actually still do now. We took Caldwell's, and now we've extrapolated that, which again, we'll get into a different episode, the spring challenge, as we get closer to that challenge. But we did this all system for the NFL draft. So not only is our league a keeper league, it's a 2-keeper league, which again, we'll get a little fuzzy here because we've already discussed this quite a bit inside of our league. But for the NFL draft, pre the NFL draft, we get ranked from these competitions. So for instance, say I win this offseason challenge. I then am allocated the first pick before the NFL draft. So we do a pre-NFL draft to draft players that are not on an NFL team. So for that first year, because it was 2020, I'm assuming, I drafted Joe Burrow because I had the first pick. With Joe Burrow, I didn't know what team he was going to be on. He was the first pick, so he went to Cincy. But, call it the pick 10 from our league, it's going to be some wide receiver, some tight end, some running back that we don't know. It could be a kid from Memphis who doesn't even get drafted, or maybe gets drafted in the first round. It's pretty much a big luck of the draw. Yeah, you can do your research or whatever, but having the advantage of being a top 3 pick for the offseason is actually massive, because then they have keeper eligibility as well.
Yeah. So it's a big event, and it's kind of funny. It's a lot of just drinking and a lot of running and a lot of doing other things. I think the spring challenge is an interesting one to look at the data, because if I'm looking at 2020, so we've done this twice. I think we did it in 2020 and then we did it last year. And the one in 2020 was 3 days long. And Caldwell got first on the first day. Let's just look at some of these numbers. They're insane. Caldwell ran 20 and a half miles, biked 31 miles, and drank 6 beers. I ran 8 miles, biked 17, and drank 14 beers. Skylar ran 11 miles, biked no miles, drank 13 beers. That's just day one. And then so the whole weekend keeps going. Those are the top 3 at the end of the weekend. That was places 1, 2, and 3. Caldwell got first, Skylar got second, I got third. Total run for Caldwell, 49 miles, biked 118 miles, and drank 24 beers. Kyle ran 10 miles. I got like heat stroke on the first day, so I couldn't run very much. Biked 67, drank 44 beers. Skylar, 33 miles, 33 miles running, 43 miles bike, 46 beers. And then if you look at the spring challenge from this past year, so we did it a little bit differently. We had teams of 2. So me and Flynn won, and we beat Caldwell and Magnus by 0.2 of a point. I ran, and this was a 1-day event. I ran 10 and a half miles, over 3,000 feet of vert, which you got points for. I biked 40 miles and I drank 17 beers. Now listen to this. Matt Flynn ran 10 miles, 108 feet of vert, so perfectly flat run. Didn't bike at all. Drank 29 beers.
Yeah. That's good data points.
Yeah. The beers is like, it's such an interesting variable, because it's like, I'm going to be hungover. I got to exercise. How do I do this? But Flynn just goes for a 10-mile run and drinks 30 beers, and is the ultimate variable in all
Yeah,
that.
Schwer and I didn't perform well on that this year. We just take it on the chin.
You were better than Chuck and Scotty. The spreadsheet next to Chuck just says pussy, and Scotty just says Scotty, and they just have zeros next to their names because they didn't even compete.
That was tough. That was a tough look for them.
That was very bad. That's like, you get kicked out of the league for that kind of shit.
Yeah, but then they both showed up to Portland, so that's part of it,
Yeah, it's true. So yeah, that's those events are super fun. I love that we do that shit. By the way, just on the quick 6. So this was 4 beers, 6 cups, fast as you can go. Prescott won that. Do you remember how fast he did it?
Insanely fast. It was like under 30 seconds or something.
30 seconds on the dot. Flynn got second with 35. Caldwell got third with 36. I got fourth with 37. Funny, Skylar's event. Skylar's the beer chugger. Got 5th place, 47 seconds.
Yeah, it's definitely a redemption for me on that one. I don't know why I was so slow. That's kind of bad.
I mean, I think the true winner of that event was Cobb for one of the most iconic video recordings I think this league has ever seen.
Oh, yeah. It was like 2 a.m. He just got out of work, and he's like chugging beers and like throwing up.
He had no one there to film. He was like house sitting by himself, and he was like got out of work at 2 a.m. Because he wanted to time it with his cell phone, he set up his MacBook laptop with like photo booth to record the video, and then he slammed all the beers, and on the last beer he slugs it and he slams it down and he says, "Let's go," and mid-go he just projectile vomited all over the place. It's one of the funniest videos I've ever
insane. So I just want to note, and Skylar, I know you got to go, but me and Flynn won this event. So I was spring challenge champ. Then I won the draft. So I got the most points at the draft. And then I almost got, I was going to fucking rub this in your guys' face so much if I'd won the championship. If I'd won the championship, Triple Crown. Fuck, man.
Wow,
That
but
would
you
have been
didn't.
fucking glory.
But you didn't.
But I didn't. You know, gotta keep going. Gotta keep grinding. Next year,
Damn.
we're gonna be back. All right. Well, I had a few more talking points here, Sky. I know you got to go, right?
Yeah, I gotta go. I gotta go Lions League. But before I go, we gotta go bets on the game.
All right. So you're playing the Middlebury College boys, and you guys are all a bunch of middle-aged, shriveled penis men.
And you've never played them before.
We've never played them.
And this is futsal. Lots of
No,
goals.
it's 7v7. It's Shelburne Fieldhouse.
77.
We also
You guys got a full team? No subs?
we have about, I just checked the roster for tonight. We have 10 guys, so 3.
I'm going old boys. You're just dad strength, you know? Some of these guys got dad strength. Remember playing like old guys when you were in high school?
Yeah.
In college?
Yeah.
They're just big, strong.
Yeah, I got to go with the old guys as well. I mean, you got Sky on the team. The guy,
I'll bleed.
he's not going to lose
I'll bleed.
He's got no touch.
unless he dies.
No,
not
He's
gonna
got
lose.
old man touch.
Yeah, I got old man touch. All right, I like that. Okay, my last segment that I had is before the podcast until he gets on a team, we all have to guess where Derek Carr will land this offseason.
Derek Carr, let's go, baby.
Our podcast.
Well, you said Tom Brady was going to Vegas, you dumb idiot.
I'm already out of that one.
Yeah, you're way out.
You said Tom Brady's going to go somewhere. I got to replay the tape, but he's
I
not.
wanted Tom Brady to go to Pats.
Yeah, well, we all did.
Derek Carr is going where all QBs go to die. The Indianapolis Colts.
Wow.
Whoa, interesting.
All right.
I think the Carolina Panthers call was pretty interesting, but like Colts and Panthers are where like that's from bad to worse.
Or Jets. Jets is the other big one. But I'm gonna keep on it. I'm gonna go Carolina.
I'm gonna be crazy. I'm saying Miami Dolphins.
I love that.
I mean, as a concussion guy, Tua should not be playing.
Aaron Rodgers is going to Miami. I'm calling that right now.
If you're the Miami Dolphins, I don't fucking care if Tua's the next Tom Brady.
Aaron Rodgers to Miami.
This guy's if he plays next year, he's gonna get hurt again. He's gonna get another concussion.
Yeah.
Like if I'm Miami Dolphins, I gotta get a guy on my bench that can play football.
Teddy.
Fuck Teddy, dude. Fuck Teddy.
Skylar Thompson, though.
Skylar Thompson's a G.
Fucking A, dude.
He almost beat the Bills at the Bills. Good game.
Yeah.
You hear that, Zach Dandran? I say, Zach Dandran.
No chance he's listening this
Kyle,
far.
Derek Carr.
I'm gonna go to my game. You exit us cleanly here.
All right. Well, it was great talking to you guys. You know, the podcast, if nothing else, it's great hanging out. I think that's what this is really for. I'm pretty fired up. I got some big surprises. The intro is electric, and I'm hopping on with Gideon tonight. We're gonna make some magic for the boys.
Oh, that's beautiful.
What, so the instrumental from Dave, and you guys are just going right, like singing song to it, or what?
You don't know yet. You're gonna have to wait.
Well,
and find
doesn't
out.
Sky know?
It's a little country. It's a little soulful. I've heard some pre-takes of it. I haven't heard the final.
Yeah, but I've done some glorious editing.
Tell Gideon I say hi and ask him about the London trip. Can we have him as our first guest? I feel like he should be.
Dude, we can. That was one of my talking points. Is like who's on the. All right, so let's vote. Before you go, let's vote.
Gideon.
We'll end it exactly an hour.
Okay, Gideon.
Yeah.
Schwer? All
Chuck.
right, it's unanimous. Easy enough.
So
Yeah,
agreeable. This podcast, it's gonna
Schwer,
go.
you're the most in the text group. You're the most disagreeable guy on the fucking planet. You come in here.
I
you
just said
say,
Chuck.
yes,
I contradicted, said Chuck.
all right, Chuck.
Oh,
So we can grill
Yeah,
him
dude,
about
he's gonna have a lot of fire to shoot after we talk shit about him and his.
yeah,
his trip
and,
last.
and he got last, and we got to grill him about the dress. And
oh yeah.
Oh, dude, he's gotta wear a dress. That's right. Shit. All right. So I think I'm for Gideon. He's pure entertainment. That guy. All right. Peace.
The Ivy League extraordinary gentlemen, the League of Ivy extraordinary gentlemen. You're listening to what we say, we said we had to say. The Ivy League extraordinary gentlemen, the League of Ivy extraordinary gentlemen. say. We said we had to say.